Obviously, this is not going to be, there's going to be some controversy associated with the proposals that are coming here, but trying to look at it from all angles and protecting the ridgeline and realizing how difficult times are economically and the fact that money's just not growing on trees. The fact that you're looking at a very substantial land donation, and I think there's a lot of really good positive things that come out of this. I think it was, I invited Mr. Kennedelsky here to see this presentation. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Wright. My name is Greg Kennedelsky. I'm the division president for Toll Brothers for our Newington division, which is Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. And for those of you who are not familiar with our company, we're a home building company. We're on the New York Stock Exchange. We've been in Connecticut since 1992. We've delivered over 1,700 homes. We've completed over 40 communities, including one in Newington called Newington Ridge, which we built on the old drive-in theater property, and we completed it last year. With me tonight is Dan Rossi, who's our land development manager, who's intimately involved in the study of the property and the development of the plans for the property. In the back is Chris Bennett, who's an assistant vice president. Chris, put your hand up. And we also have with us tonight one of the two property owners we're dealing with in the acquisition of these two properties, Stanley Cohen. So I want to thank everybody. I want to thank you, Mr. Mayor, and everybody else for inviting us. We think it's important to have a good, honest dialogue, to put the information out there, and to give everybody an opportunity to assess and digest what we're proposing. In a minute, I'm going to ask Dan to come up and sort of explain our proposal, our development proposal, and our proposal to preserve the open space on Cedar Mountain. We know how important it is to the citizens of Newington to preserve Cedar Mountain. We've been at this for, I think, Stan, almost 2 years now.
Seems like 20.
Seems like 20, Stan says. We've been at it a long time. We've had numerous discussions with Stanley and his partners. We've had some negotiation. We've had numerous discussions with Tilcon, the owners of the other property we're acquiring. And the negotiations and the discussions have centered on how can we make this a win-win for everybody. Obviously, we want to develop part of the property for housing, but we also wanted to see how we can make it a win for the citizens of the town of Newington. How could we achieve something that's so important to them, which is the preservation of as much open space as possible on Cedar Mountain. I think, and this is just my opinion, obviously, but I think we've come pretty close to making it a win-win situation, and we hope you all agree after you hear our proposal. We are planning to preserve, if the development proposals go through, we are planning to preserve nearly 50 acres of open space. Let me repeat that. If the development proposals go through, the plan is to preserve nearly 50 acres, I think it's approximately 48 acres of open space. That open space could be dedicated to the town of Newington. I think the zoning regulations allow for that, and that would be our desire. If the zoning regulations prohibit us from dedicating the open space to the town of Newington, we are certainly willing to deed restrict it so that it's open space in perpetuity, and the ownership would stay with the homeowners of the two development parcels. So we're willing to work with the town of Newington. We'd like to dedicate the land to the town of Newington, so that the town of Newington takes ownership. We think the zoning regulations allow that. We need to do a little more research. Besides preserving open space, and I know that's very important, there are other benefits that accrue to the town of Newington. And in this economy, talking dollars and cents, I think is important. It's important to everybody. If these two development proposals are approved, over about $500,000 to $600,000 in fees, not taxes, but just fees, building permit fees, those sorts of fees, will be paid to the town of Newington. Jobs are critical in this economy, and we did a rough calculation today, and we think roughly 150 to 200 jobs, or 150 to 200 people will be employed in both developments. 150 to 200 people, a lot of jobs. And in addition, there are property taxes that will be paid on an annual basis. The homeowners in both of these developments will be paying property taxes. I don't have a number for you tonight. We're calculating it, but I can say it's probably substantial. So there's a lot of benefits. There's the open space. There's the economic benefits. Again, we've worked long and hard on this, and we'd like to just briefly tell you what we're proposing. With that, Dan, you'd like to come up?
Good evening. Again, Dan Rossi, Director of Land Development for Toll Brothers. I'm going to be assisting BL Companies, who's our design engineer, on what would be hopefully the final development of the plan. So I just want to give a brief overview, orientation of where the two properties fall on this map. East Cedar Street running west to east. On the bottom, Mountain Road. On the left-hand side, Russell. And then the two properties are divided by, I guess, what's known as the old highway, which right now is just an unimproved path leading up to the top of the hill. 28-acre parcel owned by Marquardt. On this property, and this property for that matter, the yellow color would be the inland wetlands, as